Well, the project started whenever I walked into the Hal Marcus gallery where we're sitting right now and met Hal's wife and later Hal as I was looking for an illustrator for a poem that I'd written for my kids that I thought could develop into a book. And that day Hal took me over to his studio and was showing me some of the work that he was doing and gave me the chance to read the poem or the story to him at that time, and right away got the vision and said, I can do that, I'll illustrate it. Mm-hmm. And so it was that quick and easy, and he got started right away on the artwork.
Right, but I must tell you that he had originally wrote this for his two boys, and so that's where it really came in, because as a child his mother used to read to him all the time, and he got an interest in writing children's books, and he studied. Tell him where you studied.
Doing a graduate degree with Penn State University in children's literature, and so this came out of a writing class that I was taking at the time, actually about 4 or 5 months before we met, and it was just a poem that I kept playing with, and it just stuck. I just felt like this is something that I'd like to develop into something a little bit fuller.
So he came to the gallery, and he was talking to my wife, and he was saying, because we represent 100 different artists in our gallery, local, and he said, do you know anybody who might want to illustrate a poem that he had written for his children? And I didn't know Luke. I never met him before in my life. The funny thing is now that we're out in the world signing books and meeting people, it seems like everybody knows Luke because of the car dealerships, and that was funny because I'm the only person in the world who's never saw him on TV. so anyway, he read me the poem, and I loved the title, which was, Buenas Noches El Paso. I loved the title because El Paso has such beautiful nights. So that was kind of like, I was kind of interested in it. I paint a lot of paintings of El Paso. And it was so naive and so innocent, and I thought this is something that I think El Paso will appreciate and embrace. So I said, let's do it. And so that's how I got started. All right. So in the words that he had for the book, it doesn't really bring out a whole lot of landmarks, except for the sunset and the star on the mountain, and maybe a couple other things, but I thought it was important to bring in, the actual bridge to Mexico, UTEP, the Rio Grande, the cactuses that are blooming, the trolley, of course the river, and it even gets into, the train depot and, the X, the convention center, St. Patrick's Church, and the Chicano Park, Our Lady of Guadalupe, over there at Chicano Park, and lots of those type of things. So every chance that I got, I would throw in the Thunderbird on the mountain, stuff like that. So that's what kind of brings it all home. And a lot of the stuff you need to kind of look for. Yeah. There's even a little lizard in every page that you have to find, and there's a road runner, and of course there's some cats and dogs that are always chasing the lizards, and then there's a mountain lion that floats through the sky, and that he has this dream that his spirit animal is a mountain lion, and that became like one of the leading things on the front cover. And we have a cutout for the children, and we'll show you some photographs of the children now can put their head inside this cutout. So all these things are stuff that we see every day here in the border country, and people look at the cover and they say that's so El Paso, something about the purple mountains and the flowers blooming. So Luke gave me complete artistic freedom, to reach inside of my paint box of my imagination.
Yeah, and the mountain star is featured prominently throughout the book. And this concluding double spread is one of my favorites because it captures so much from El Paso, and it's all mixed in together. like we were saying, El Paso and Juarez being one community. You see La X here right next to Hal's house and the Mountain Star, and here's the bridge with U.S. and Mexico, but it's just all one place, and it's all fluid, and it's all working together. And
that's Plaza de los Lagartos right there. They have the alligators.
Right.
So it's, there's few words. We counted them right now. How many words? 250?
252.
252 words in the whole book. So it leaves a lot to your imagination. And Luke wrote it as a poem. And people have been buying it all over the country, actually, and shipping them off as gifts. So it's been very well received, and we're working on another book.
The book is always available at Hal Marcus Gallery here at 1308 North Oregon, and also at Buenas Noches El Paso.com. You can also find it at Amazon, the Barnes & Noble on Sunland Park, Literarity, and some other local gift stores and booksellers.
Yeah, collectibles, Paradigm,
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, and Vanities.
And remember that it's only been out for 2.5 weeks, okay? So we're working our butts off getting it out there to the world.
And Ella Blue will be at the Christmas Bazaar this weekend.
This week. And Montessori this weekend too. The school in the Upper Valley, they're hosting a book signing. So little by little, you can get them in lots of different places.
Oh gosh, opening the box, the first shipment of books that came in, and getting to pull this out, hold it in my hands and see a real book, and sit down on my couch with my 7 and 8-year-old sons, Parker and Jackson, and letting them read it to me. They were actually flipping through this, and they were reading and noticing all the things, and that was the proudest moment. That was the most exciting moment. Probably the close runner-up was when I showed up here with those first boxes of book, and Hal was coming out like, this is the most exciting day of the year right here. He was so excited.
Yeah, I was excited to see the cover of the book, and feel it and touch it and hit it, and I had spilled something on it and it cleaned right off. It's just such a nice product, between the two covers, and it's not too big and it's a nice size, and it just felt good. And and we found at the Christmas fair that 9 out of 10 people, when they touch the book, they buy one. There's something about it that makes you want to have one, and that's how I felt when I saw the book, because we had just seen it on the computer in paper form. Having it between the hard covers really turned me on. The other thing that turned me on a lot, believe it or not, was this page. See, I did not design this page. Judd Burgess designed the book. And when I opened this page, Judd had surprised us and used this yellow. I thought, this is like the yellow when you bring a newborn baby into the bedroom for the first time from the hospital. This was something about this was so wholesome and childlike that blew my mind. This wasn't a painting that I painted. I had done the ice cream cones and the clouds and other paintings, but Judd took it out and put this background, and that was a whole new thing for me. So every step of the way has been a discovery for both of us. Right. And it happened really quickly. And another thing that I must mention is halfway we were into this project was the terrible tragedy at Walmart. And that's when we said we need to just accelerate this thing, get it done as fast as possible, because we wanted to put something out into the world that was positive and innocent and wholesome about El Paso and about the border culture. So that made us believe in what we're doing even more. This is our little way of spreading a little sunshine, in a city that's being tested right now for, being innocent, pure, and good.